Welcome to Lit with Ernest, where we dive into the world of literature and explore the most significant works that have shaped our culture. Today we're going to talk about a speech that changed the course of history, Martin Luther's speech before the Diet of Worms. This speech, delivered in 1521, is a landmark moment in the Protestant Reformation, and its impact can still be felt today. But before we dive into the speech itself, let's set the stage. The early 16th century was a time of great upheaval in Europe. The Catholic Church, which had dominated Western Christianity for centuries, was facing challenges from within and without. The rise of nation-states, the decline of feudalism, and the emergence of new technologies, like the printing press, all contributed to an environment in which old certainties were being questioned. Questioned. It was into this maelstrom that Martin Luther stepped, a German theologian who had been criticizing the Catholic Church's practices for years. In 1517, he had published his famous 95 Theses, which challenged the Church's sale of indulgences and sparked a wave of protests across Europe. By 1521, Luther had become a thorn in the side of the Church, and he was summoned to appear before the Diet of Worms, a gathering of German princes and bishops. The speech that Luther delivered on April 18, 1521, is a masterpiece of rhetoric and conviction. In it, he refused to recant his views, despite being threatened with excommunication and death. Instead, he stood firm, arguing that his conscience was bound by the Word of God, and that he could not go against his own convictions. One of the key literary concepts at play here is the idea of apostrophe, where a speaker addresses an absent person or entity. In this case, Luther addresses the Emperor Charles V, who is not present, and appeals to his conscience. This device allows Luther to speak directly to the heart of the matter, and to make a powerful emotional appeal to his audience. Another literary technique that Luther uses is anaphora, where he repeats a phrase or word at the beginning of successive clauses. For example, when he says, "Here I stand, I can do no other," he is using anaphora to drive home his point and create a sense of rhythm and emphasis. But speech before the Diet of Worms is more than just a cleverly crafted speech. It's also a deeply personal and philosophical work that grapples with some of the biggest questions of human existence. What does it mean to stand up for what you believe in, even if it means going against the majority? How do we balance our individual consciences with the demands of society? These are questions that have haunted writers and thinkers for centuries, from Plato's Apology to George Orwell's 1984. And they're questions that continue to resonate today, as we navigate our own complex world of conflicting values and loyalties. In terms of cultural impact, speech before the Diet of Worms has had a profound influence on Western literature and culture. It's been referenced and reinterpreted in countless works of art, from plays and novels to music and film. For example, in George Eliot's novel Middlemarch, the character of Dorothea Brooke is inspired by Luther's courage and conviction, highlighting the enduring power of his ideas. But speech before the Diet of Worms has also had a significant impact on the development of literary theory and criticism. It's been seen as a key example of the power of rhetoric and persuasion, and has been studied by scholars of language and communication for centuries. So what can we take away from this speech? For one, it shows us the importance of standing up for what we believe in, even if it means going against the status quo. It also highlights the need for honesty, transparency, and accountability, values that are just as relevant today as they were back then. As we navigate our own complex world, Luther's speech serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of moral courage and the need to challenge unjust systems. Like this episode, if it hit true. Share it if you respect honest talk about books. Subscribe, because we'll do this again. This is Ernest, signing off.